There are a ton of decisions that you have to make when it comes to planning for retirement. But one of the biggest decisions is when you should claim Social Security. There are so many bad ideas, myths, and straight up horrible advice when it comes to claiming your Social Security benefits. So, we're going to talk about it. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm Michael Baker with The Wealth Technique, where we help you build, protect, and transfer your wealth. We are talking about Social Security benefits and when you should claim your Social Security. So many people have the opportunity to make a great claiming decision, yet they are tempted to make a bad decision because they get bad information or bad advice. One of the biggest myths that I hear is that the program is going to go broke. Well, folks, if you haven't noticed, our government, along with the Federal Reserve, will print money. So, folks, the question you need to ask yourself is not will the program go broke, but what will those dollars actually buy? Because if we have to continually print dollars, the real enemy is inflation, not a lack of dollars, if that makes sense. So forget this idea that Social Security is going to go broke. What we need to be thinking about is the strength of the dollar and what our purchasing power will be. Another myth that people say about Social Security is that they need to claim as early as possible so that they can get as much money out of the system before it goes broke. Well, I just shared with you that benefits are being funded by people paying into the system. And if there's a shortfall, we will print the money to pay out the promised benefits. So we need to worry about inflation and the idea of claiming early so that you can get back your benefits that you've paid in is a little bit misleading because benefits that are being paid out from the system today are coming from workers paying into the system. What we need to have are more workers paying into the system so that future benefits can be funded by those workers. It's not a matter of you getting money back that you've contributed. You never contributed. You were taxed. Your taxes went into the pool and were distributed out to people that were claiming benefits. That's how the system works. With those myths out of the way, I want to give you 3 instances where I think claiming benefits early could make sense. First is if you are in poor health. And what I mean by that, you have some health issues that are likely going to shorten your life expectancy. Claiming early may work out for you when it comes to the math of Social Security and how they actually calculate benefits. Number 2 is if you just need the money. Sometimes people who are downsized from work, they have a health issue that's preventing them from working and earning income. They need to claim Social Security to be able to have some type of income coming into the household. The third way is if longevity is just not part of your family tree. Americans, generally speaking, are living longer, and we are seeing more and more people reach their life expectancy. With longevity being an issue, that is one of the reasons you need to make a careful decision when it comes to claiming Social Security benefits. However, if you've got health issues or you know that your people in your family just are genetically not likely to live a long time, that could be a critical decision point for you when it comes to claiming your Social Security benefits. For everyone else, if those reasons do not apply to you, you need to be thinking about Social Security in a very strategic way. It is one of the most important decisions that you can make when putting together a retirement income plan. I haven't referenced it yet, but the earliest age that you're eligible to claim Social Security workers' benefits is age 62. My thought is that the vast majority of people should avoid claiming Social Security benefits early. Why is that? First of all, claiming early does not mean you're going to get more benefits. What it may mean is that you may receive paychecks for longer, but when you claim early, they reduce your benefits. So yes, you can claim early, but they reduce the size of your checks. So you will get checks possibly for longer, but those checks are smaller. The other thing you have to consider is the fact that many people are basing decisions on average life expectancy. Well, let's think about average. Are you average? Because if you are college educated, if you have a good income, if you're healthy, and you have financial resources, you're not considered average when it comes to life expectancy. The odds are you may live longer than your average life expectancy. Claiming early could create a significant issue if you live a long time. So we want to think about Social Security as an individual, and we want to think about claiming Social Security within the context of a financial plan. Now, what are some ways that you can defer claiming Social Security? Well, first and foremost, you can continue to work. And I know that that is just sacrilegious when we're talking about retirement, but here's what I want to tell you. I talk with people all the time when it comes to retirement planning. Work doesn't mean that you have to stay in the high stress, high pressure job. Work may simply mean you retire from the high pressure job, the high stress job, and find something that you enjoy. Find something to earn a paycheck. You don't necessarily have to make six figures. It's just, can you earn some income doing something that you like, something that you're passionate about, something that you may enjoy? And that income can allow you to defer claiming your Social Security benefits. That's a great idea. Another way, if you've been able to save and accumulate financial resources, maybe you can use some of those resources to give you a little bit of an income bridge. So when you walk away from your full-time employment, you have a little bit of a supplement that you can pay yourself while you allow your Social Security benefits to defer. Therefore, it's important for you to be thinking about not just how and when, but how to maximize your Social Security benefits. So the idea of having part-time employment, doing some consulting, or finding something that you're passionate about where you can earn a little bit of extra income and allow yourself to defer your benefits is a great idea. If you've got resources and capital, retirement accounts, investment accounts, maybe you can consider using some of those resources to help you defer Social Security benefits. Another piece that you need to be thinking about, I cannot stress this enough, especially if you are married. Social Security survivor benefits are a key piece to consider when it comes to putting a retirement income plan together. The largest benefit, whatever that amount is, that is the benefit that remains if something happens to either spouse. A key mistake that I see many couples make is they allow the high worker benefit, whoever's got that benefit, to be claimed early, and it reduces that benefit for the life of the couple. One of the things that I see a lot when we are meeting with couples and we're talking about retirement income planning is this idea of a break-even age. Folks will come in and they will have done some math on an online calculator, or they've gone to the Social Security website, which is a great resource, by the way, but they'll come in with the idea of a break-even age. And they'll say, well, if I claim at this age, then my break-even, not for the high earner. If you have the high Social Security benefit for your household, that benefit survives 2 lifetimes, not 1. So if you think about this for an example, I've got Bob and Betty, and Betty has been the high income earner for the household, and they are getting ready to retire. We want to the extent that we can, maximize Betty's Social Security benefit. Why? Because that is the benefit that lasts for the rest of the life of the couple. So Bob and Betty retire, and Betty decides she claims her benefit early. 3 weeks later, Bob and Betty are on safari, and Betty gets eaten by a T-Rex. Well, Social Security will revert to having one benefit, and it will be Betty's because she had the high benefit. But because Betty's benefit was claimed early, it will be artificially lower than it could have been had she deferred and maximized that benefit. So that is a critical component to be thinking about. It's not just when, how, but also who. Who has the high benefit? And we want to coordinate things so that that benefit can be maximized for the lifespan of the household. Social Security can be a powerful tool when it comes to building a retirement income plan. I encourage every one of you, think about Social Security uniquely for yourself and make your claiming decision within the context of a financial plan. So let me ask you, what questions do you have about Social Security? Leave them in the comments below. And don't forget, like this video. Are you ready to learn more about how to transfer your wealth? Click the next video on your screen now.